Okay, so you can check them out on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel. The name is Slidebean. You can also go on their website. Is the name of the website is Slidebean. So they are basically like a business consulting firm. Yeah. So if you want to get deeper into financial modeling, business, tech, and all that, you can check them out on YouTube or their website. Mhm. So they came up with this financial model for business owners. So like if you want to start your business and then you want to come up with your financials. But you see, usually when you start your business and then you need loans or investors, you need to show them how your business looks like financially, how your profits, how much profit you are going to make year on year or month on month and all that. So basically that's what this template is supposed to do. And I decided to share it with you guys so that you can also pick up a few tricks from it as well. So the template has a lot of sheets, but from the welcome sheet to the change log intro, it's all information about how the sheet works. So you can go through that later on. You can just read about it even describes everything like all the sheets, what each sheet contains, the color coding. Okay. So as I said, this is a very high level financial model, contains everything that it needs to contain. So you can just go through these settings, intro sheets on your own, and then read what each part contains. So let's go to the sheet with the financial statement. So you see there's a sheet called FS-month. Can you guys see that? I'm not getting responses. So
Yes, please.
okay. So you see, I've selected cell A3. You see there's a name appearing there, Tony Sedra. But then if you check the formula bar, there's something else appearing there. Who knows what that thing is? What feature or function or whatever it is that is making the Tony Sedra appear over there? But then it's not the same thing that's appearing in the formula bar. Priscilla, yeah,
And you reference the cell in the settings sheet.
exactly. Yes. So I hope all of you agree with that. Does everyone agree or understand with what Priscilla said? So you can see that in the formula bar we have settings H6. So settings is the name of the sheet. Is someone's hand up? Okay, let's say he understands. Okay, so when we go to settings and then in cell H6, so you see this settings page is like the inputs for the entire model. Okay, so if you input your company name here, and then it will appear within the entire sheet. Any cell that references the cell, the name will appear there. You input your currency there and all that. So settings is like where you indicate details about your company. Okay, so let's go on. So the cell referencing over here, which we've already done. The financial statement monthly, that one was it's a text, it was typed there. This is an image. I know all of you know how to insert an image into Excel already, so I won't go through that. And then all these cells here from A1 to C9. So they formatted the cell with a particular color. Let's try and change the color and see. You see, yeah. So that's how they achieve that effect over there. So let me undo that. The same thing over here too. Who knows what the edate function is? Has anyone heard of the edate function? Edate. What was used over here? No one saying. Then I'll give you guys as assignment to let me note it down. So anyone give me an answer on the edit function? Okay, we'll continue. I'll give it to you guys as assignment. So let's continue. So the green, you see that there are some cells shaded green. Those are the revenue. Then we have cost of goods. So does anyone see any similarity with what we've been doing so far? You see the cell formatting with the colors. Borders have been applied over here. Borders have been applied over here too. And remember the financial statements, as we discussed the last time, I told you we had 5 financial statements, and then for our class we did just 3. It's the same thing over here too. So they have the income statements, then they have the balance sheet, and then the cash flow. Any questions so far? Any question?
Mm.
Okay, then may I have a question. Someone should go online and look for what the edit function does so that we discuss it right now. Adam, will you do that?
It says that it
Uh-huh.
returns the serial number that represents the date, that is the indicated number of months before or after a specified date.
Okay. It's
So the e-date
the
is
first
used to
part.
calculate maturity. Is that
So the very first sentence you read, no?
so? Returns the serial number
Okay.
that represents the date,
Mm-hmm.
that is the indicated number of months before or after a specified date.
The indicated number of months before or after a specified date.
Yes. Let me continue. The
Okay.
e-date is used to calculate maturity dates or due dates that fall on the same day of the month
Okay.
as the date of issue.
Mm. Okay. So let me show you something. Let me open a new sheet and then take you through that quickly. So who knows the function to get today's date without typing it in manually? Who knows the function to get today's date in Excel? Johnson, do you know the function?
Function to
Get today's date in Excel.
I think it's called today. Oh,
Okay, yeah, today. So like this. It shows that today is 7th January. So let's see what the edit can tell us about this. So edit start date is today. Let's put month as 1. You guys know this is a date. This 44964. Do you know or do you agree it's a date? Or who doesn't think it's a date? And then
Yeah,
the 44964. Do you agree it's a date? Or you don't think it's a date?
it doesn't look like a date.
It doesn't look like a date. Okay. You remember when Johnson was reading about the EDT, the first sentence, he said something about the serial number of a date. Johnson, isn't that true?
yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. So this 44964 is also a serial number for a date. Okay. So if you want to know what the exact date is, you have to change the format of the cell. Right now it's showing as general. Okay. So let me change the format to let's do short date. Do you not see the date now?
Yeah,
What date is that?
7th February 2023.
Okay. So now I'm going back to the edate function, and then you see the edate takes 2 parameters, the start date and then the month. The start date is today's date, and then the month I put 1 there. So that's why we move from 7th January to 7th February. So let me change the month to 2. And now we are in March. So I guess you guys now understand what the edate function does. With this example, I guess you understand. Or
Can you please go over
Yeah.
the last part?
which one is the last part?
After you wrote the number that doesn't look like a date and how it became a date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me delete this and do it again. Let me do it over here. So we were trying to understand what the edate function does. Okay. So let me type edate. As you can see, it takes 2 parameters, the start date and then the month. So start date, as you know, should be a date. So we use today's date over here as the start date. And then for the number of months, let's do 1. Now close bracket. You see, we are getting 44964 because the e-date is built in such a way that it returns the serial number of a date. Just as Johnson read it, I'm not even the one saying it. Johnson read that it returns the serial number of a date. So what it means is that this is actually a date, but it's not formatted as a date. That's why we are seeing it as numbers. That's the serial number version. So to see it as a date, you can come to the format here. You can see it's currently formatted as general. So we continue to date. Let's do long date. So it has added 1 month to today's date. So it's like the e-date adds a month to your current date or your start date. So if I change it, let me do it 12. Okay, let me do 11 so that it will fall on December. Who knows how to fix this error? The hash, 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 hash. A lady must answer this one. Priscilla or Joanne? One of you should answer this one for me. How do I get rid of the hash, hash, hash I'm seeing over there?
You need to extend the cell. How do I put it? The cell is too small for the
The cell is
content.
too
So you
small.
need to,
Is it too
actually
small in height or in width?
with
Okay, so how will I extend it?
place your cursor at the top most right and then
Okay,
drag it to the
most
right.
right over here. Where
No,
there's
no,
column,
no. As no at the D
column
side.
D. Okay,
Yeah, column D and drag it.
yeah, so that's it. So as you can see, that's what the edate function is doing. You select your start date, you indicate the number of months after that start date, then the edate will give you the date. Are we okay?
Yes,
So,
yes, please. Thank you.
okay, so I'm deleting the sheet. So, okay, let's go back here. So that's what the edate is doing over here. Okay. It's, FS. Okay, so this FS month here. So that's it. Okay, so let's go through the revenue and see if there are any unusual formulas there or not. Okay, so over here too, we are seeing some cell referencing again. So you see what they did was that they had a specific sheet to calculate the revenue. Okay, so after they do that, then they reference it in the main sheet. If you remember, we did something like that when we were solving, when we were doing our financial statements. We had a different sheet for workings. Okay, where we will budget or estimate the revenue or the cost or whatever. Then after we did that, we brought it on the main sheet for our financial statements. So are you guys seeing the similarities in what they are doing and then what we also did?
Yes.
So it might look too professional or too scary, but it's basically what we've been doing so far. So let me see. Aside the cell referencing, there's nothing new over here. As for the formatting with the colors, I believe you guys know how to do that already, so you can move on. The COGS, who knows what COGS means? Anyone knows what COGS means? Those who did accounting, I think Adam, you said you are doing accounting, right?
No.
Hey, are you sure?
Yeah.
John, do you do accounting?
Cost of goods sold.
Okay, that's correct. Cost of goods sold. When we're preparing our financial statements, we're using something called cost of sales. Cost of sales, cost of goods sold. It's not exactly the same, but they can be used interchangeably. Okay, and basically these are the direct costs. So your sales or your revenue minus your direct cost, which is the cost of goods sold, will give you your gross profit. Okay. Now there's something new here: gross profit margin. Where are my accounting students? Joan, do you know what gross profit margin is? You guys should take note of, because the assignments I gave you last year, you are going to redo it, and I want to be seeing things similar to this. Okay. So gross profit margin. Is it Frank? Is Frank here today? Joy. Hello, Joy. Joy Ajiwa.
Yes, please.
Joy, do accounting.
I did a little bit of accounting,
Okay.
but that was some time ago.
But I'm sure you might have heard of gross margin before, or gross profit margin.
I should think so.
So what do you think it is?
For profit margin, I remember, but when you say margin, is maybe a percentage or a number that's you are earning from a sales. I don't know how to say, but maybe profit margin would be like maybe the percentage you're earning from sales or something.
Okay. So let me show you how they are calculating this profit gross margin. Let me see if that will help you to explain what it is. You see the two cells, one in red border and then blue border. Do you see them?
Yes, please.
So does it give you a clue of what the gross margin is? Doesn't give you a clue, right? Or does it? You can see that they are basically doing the gross profit divided by the revenue, or the total revenue. Do you agree with that?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So that's what the gross margin is. Your gross profit as a percentage of your revenue. So it's like, out of the revenue that you got, what percentage of it is your gross margin or your gross profit? What percentage of the total revenue you got is your gross profit? Is that clear? Now we're also seeing another formula, the if error. Does anyone knows what the if error formula does? If error, if error, if error. Priscilla,
Hello.
yeah, have you seen or heard of if error before?
Hello. Hello.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes, I know. Yes, I know.
A no. Also, no one has seen or heard of if error before. Okay, so let's try and understand what if error is doing with an example. Okay, so let's say sales gross profit. Sales is 0, gross profit is 12, gross margin. Let me see if this will give me an error. But even the name should give you a clue, like if error. Now this one, someone must try and answer it before I do the illustration. Johnson. By now, Johnson is searching online. Okay, Eden. Eden, please speak.
I think if you use the if error formula, if
Mm-hmm.
there's an error, it will give you an output that you'd want to be there instead of the error thing itself.
Okay. Okay. So you knew the thing and then you didn't want to talk.
I wasn't sure.
Oh, you are the name Crash is giving you a clue. You don't need to be sure about this one. Yeah, so that's it. So let's check the illustration. So as I said, the gross margin is your gross profit divided by sales. So let's see if that works over here. So gross profit is 12 divided by sales. Sales is 0. We are getting an error. Okay, and then because we are dividing by 0, if I should change the sales to 100, I won't get any error. Let me change the format here to percentage. So it's 12%. So you know that it's not possible to divide by 0. So Excel also knows that. That's why it's giving you an error. But in certain cases, you might actually have 0 there. It's possible that you incur cost of 12 cedis, but you make any sales. And it won't be nice if your Excel is showing these error signs there. So in order to make it show something much better, you can use if error. Okay. So it's like if F4 divided by F3 is giving an error, what do you want to see? Okay, so let's do that and see. So I'm going to cut the current formula there and I'll bring if error. So value, the value that is likely to give me the error is F4 divided by F3. That's the value. Comma value if error. So the value if error is if it turns out that F4 divided by F3 is an error, what do you want to see? So maybe I want to see AEE. So it's a string. So that's why I put it in double quotation marks. And I close the brackets. So I'm seeing my AEE. Okay. But if it turns out that there's no error, I'll see my actual value, which is 60%. But if there's an error, I'll see AEE. Maybe I don't want to see AEE. I want it to show 0. So 0 is an integer, so I don't need to put it in double quotation marks. It's showing me 0%. Okay. If I want to show an empty cell too, I'll just do open and then I'll open one double quotation mark, then I'll close it again. That's how you tell some Excel that something is empty. And then the cell is also empty. Okay, so are we okay with if error?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you guys are doing your financial statement, the one that you're supposed to do in the assignments, no, try and show your gross margin too. It's just your gross profits divided by total revenue. Okay, so for the cost of goods sold too, we have cell referencing, we have borders, we have cell colors, small if error too. Yeah, so that's it. So you see, in this case, and their if error, they are showing that if there's an error, it should show this like the dash. So that's why we are seeing dashes over here. Everything is an error over here. Okay, so SG&A. Who knows what SG&A is? So these are the indirect expenses, sales, general, and then administrative expenses. That's what the SG&A means. Sales, general, and then admin expenses. So over here too, it's basically the same thing. They are referencing the values from another cell. That's the main cell. That's the values for the SG&A. So cell referencing over here, cell borders. Over here too, we have EBITDA. EBITDA is earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and then amortization. Okay, earnings before interest. That's the EBI, earnings before interest. Then the TD is tax, depreciation, and then amortization. Are we okay? Joanne, what's the EBITDA? Joanne.
Earnings before interest, taxes, and amortization.
No, you left out one. Oh.
Depreciation.
Okay, thank you. Yes, over here too, you see EBITDA margin. Okay. Then, okay. D&A is depreciation and amortization. Then we have EBIT, that's earnings before interest and tax. So basically what they're doing, that's like, it's just like profits, net profits, okay? But they are doing it in, let's say, something called stages. So before they take away their depreciation, interest, and taxes, they want to know how much net profits they have. Okay, so that's the earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. It's like, yes, this is, in a way, this is net profit. But it is the net profit before you subtract interest. So interest on like loan, depreciation and amortization, and then taxes. You know what interest on loans, you know what taxes are, you know what depreciation and amortization too are. So yeah, that's it. But someone might ask, why is there a need to show the net profits before these things? Okay, so first let me start from the depreciation and amortization. You see, those ones are not let's say cash expenses. Depreciation and amortization, even though they are expenses, it doesn't involve the movement of cash. Okay, so it's not, even though it's affecting profitability, it's not really affecting profitability like that. Okay, because it's not something you don't pay for. Depreciation, you don't pay for amortization, unlike those other expenses like utilities, insurance, rent, marketing, payroll, and all those things involve cash, you pay for them. But depreciation and amortization don't involve cash. And then taxes too. Taxes are expenses, but they are not let's say, they are not parts of your business operations. It's government that is imposing taxes on you. So someone wants to know, okay, so before we pay any taxes, what is like our own, like our performance without any taxes? Okay. Then same for the interest on loan too. Interest on loan too. Without any loans, you won't have any interest. So those expenses too are not really operational expenses. So that's why someone will want to know your net profit before you subtract all these things. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. So they've subtracted the depreciation and amortization over here, and then interest expense has been subtracted over here, and the taxes, income tax, and then VAT, total taxes, net income. Yeah, so that's it. Then they'll get their net income. So net income is like the final net profit. Okay, so you guys can consider all of this when you are doing your financial statements. Okay. So now the balance sheet too, I don't think there's anything new. It's the same thing. Applying of borders, a little cell coloring, what else? Then the cell referencing to, yeah. So there's nothing new here. There's nothing new here. Then cash flow too. As for the cash flow, just borders and then cell referencing. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, I see a very long if formula here. We won't go into this now, so don't worry. Cash infusion. Okay. So that's it for the monthly financial statements. They did one for annual too. So it's basically the same thing, but instead of months, it's now in years. So it's basically the same thing. And then these are like the individual worksheets. Revenue, cost of goods sold, staff will give you your payroll costs. This is the SG&A, sales, general, and then administration. Okay, so any question on this template for financial modeling by SlideBean? Any question? Any question? Will you guys be able to implement some of what they did in your financial statements? Or is there anything you are seeing that you're like, nah, this one I can't do it? If there's no question, then it means that I should be expecting something like this from all of you. Or it's not fair for me to expect something like this. Edem.
Yeah.
I can be expecting something like this when you're doing your financial statements.
Not exactly like this, but we'll try
Or
our
why
best.
why not exactly? Is there something that you cannot do? And if you can do everything there, then it means that you should be able to produce the same thing. Is that not the case? Oh, Priscilla, what about you? Priscilla,
Yes.
yeah, Priscilla, please speak. Will you be able to do the same thing? Exactly the same, eh? Okay, I'll be expecting to see your work. Yeah, Abubakar, go
Not
ahead.
yet. Like
Hey, Priscilla, what are you saying?
study is that I can do exactly the same. Study
Oh,
said
but
I can do exactly the same thing. I'll practice, and
okay,
if I get like used to it, I can do that.
okay, I hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
Abubakar, please go ahead.
So my question is, are we to formulate our own like figures to do the months?
Exactly. So the assignment I gave you, that's even what we are coming to discuss next. You were to come up with your own figures. So I told you to do it for 3 months. So imagine you are doing a budget for yourself. Okay. Maybe as part of your new year resolutions, you want to let's say make a particular amount of money every month or something like that. So this is like a way of you doing your own budget, but do it in the form of a financial statement.
Okay. But with these elements, the elements in the template.
Yes, so you can actually copy how they formatted their things, the colors they use. I'm not saying do everything dito, but and even not everything also apply to you. Obviously, not everything will apply to you. You can see that in theirs they had several revenue sources. Where is it? And you see that revenue source one, revenue source two. Some of us have just one revenue source, so it means we can't do something like this. Some people can have 10 revenue sources. So this template was supposed to be a guideline, but for the figures, you are supposed to come up with your own figures. Okay, so now let
Since it's our own individual finances, should we include the cost of goods sold and other stuff? Because
okay, so you can actually define them. So first of all, you need to understand, John, I'm coming in. So you need to understand what's the cost of goods sold are. As you know, they are the direct cost. You see, in order to get your revenue, the cost of goods sold or the cost of sales are the direct cost you will incur to be able to get that revenue. Okay. Right now, if let's say your source of revenue as a person, your source of revenue is your salary.
yeah.
What are the direct expenses you incur to be able to get that salary at the end of the month? An example can be transport.
Okay.
Because it's directly attributed to the salary that you are getting. If you don't take car to work, you won't be able to get that salary.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, so just play around with it. If you don't want to bother yourself about, just put anything there. Just put, you can use the format. You can put purchases there, closing stock, opening stock. Then just put any figures there. That will make sense.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks for
Yeah.
the
You're welcome. Joanne, you raised your hand.
Yes, I was asking, is it okay if I use
Is it
Kenya
what?
shillings in mine? Okay, if I use Kenya
Oh yeah,
shillings because I
yeah. You
in
can use any
Kenya.
currency at all. You can see that with this template, when you go to the settings page, I input the currency there manually. What's the sign for Kenyan shillings?
KSH.
Okay, so let's go and see if it has been implemented. So you see, it has been picked up over here too. Do you see it over there?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? So those of you who were saying you didn't understand the tax too, I hope you now understand it very well. Do you understand it very well now? Let me try to remember the people. Is Cindy over here? I know Cindy was one of those who said she didn't understand. Cindy's not here. Adam, were you part of those who said you didn't understand? In fact, I think you are part because you didn't do the second one. Adam, so
Yeah,
will you be able
yeah,
to do it now?
yeah. I'll be able to do
You'll
that.
be able to.
Yeah.
Let me even open the question and see. Okay, so for tax one, you're supposed to format the cash flow, blah 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 blah. For that one there, how beautiful your work is will determine the kind of marks you get, and then how appropriate. Okay, well, it's not just about beauty though, but then how you apply your borders. You can't just put a border anywhere. You get it. You can't just put a border anywhere. You can't just color anywhere like that. So all that also counts. And then for tax two is to prepare an income statement and then cash flow statement. You have to use data of your personal finances to prepare these two financial statements. Make a plan of your spending for the first 3 months in 2023 and then use that information. Okay, so this should be your spending and income for the first 3 months in 2023 and then use that information to prepare the financial statements. So tip, your income statement should include your revenue and then expenses. Is anyone here who doesn't make any revenue or income? Well, if you are not making any revenue or income within the first 3 months, you can put 0 there. Or it's not fair. I know someone can come and tell me that, will say, please, for me, I don't make any revenue, so I don't think I can prepare the financial statement. Or no one will come up with that excuse. Okay, so your cash flow statement should show the flow of cash in and out of your account, bank, mobile money, or mobile wallet, or cash in hand. Then your cash flow should show your cash balance at the end of each month. You can make reference to the sample financial model file, slide being financial model. Okay, so now date of submission should be, when is Friday's date? 13th. Is the requirements clear now? Is anyone confused about the requirements? And then one more thing, for those of you sending messages on, or you add comments on the Google Classroom, is, I don't know, but for me it's a bit difficult to locate those messages. Okay. Yeah, Bless, you have to do it again. But if you think, Bless, if you think yours is fine, you can leave it like that. Okay. But a lot of people didn't do it. A lot of people were saying they didn't understand. So that's why I wanted to explain, for them to do it again. So if you did it the first time and you are confident, you're okay. If you also want to add any formatting from what we learned today, then you can do it again. If not, if you've already submitted it, it's fine. Yeah. So okay, yeah. So I was saying that the Google Classroom is sometimes difficult for me to locate your messages. Like when you send a comment or a message, I'm able to see it. It shows as a notification and I see it, but then when I open the app to read the content, the thing vanishes. It's like I have to go through your list and then try and remember who sent me the message, click on that person's name before I can see it. And so that's why I said, if you want a quick response, then you can send me a message on WhatsApp. Because if you rely on the Google Classroom, I may respond, I may not respond. Okay. So are we okay? Are we okay?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. As I said from the beginning of the class, our last topic to do is the financial ratios, analyzing financial statements. So far we have prepared the financial statement, and then the other thing to do is to analyze them. Okay, so for that, Ernestina will take you through that. Okay, but I wanted us to clear this issue with our assignment and then make sure that everyone understands it. So today was to go over the requirements of the assignment and then to make sure that all of you understand it. So that next week we will finish up with the financial statement analysis. And then Ernestina will take you through that. But also I'll be available for that class as well. Okay, so if there's no question on the assignment or anything that we've done, we can end the class here for today. Any question? Joy. It seems Joy has not spoken today. Joy.
I've spoken today. Oh.
Hey. Wow. Because I remember I was
Yes.
calling your name sometime ago, you didn't mind me.
Oh, I did. It was about the profit margin.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I remember now. So do you have any question?
No, please, I don't.
And will you be able to include the profit margin when you are doing your financial statement?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Priscilla, next week you have to go and look for the other Priscilla because I don't know why. Or that day it was you that you joined twice. Priscilla, are you available?
Yes, there's no sound.
I'm saying that next week you have to go and look for your other Priscilla.
I don't know how
Or you
to.
will. You don't know. You have to. She has your name. Or that day it was you that you joined twice.
No.
Well, since that day she has been missing. Anyways, Edem, any question for me?
Oh no, I'm okay.
Okay. Abubakar.
I'm okay.
Okay. Mami Bedu. Mami Bedu, it seems I've mentioned this name before, but I also didn't mind me. Mami Bedu, are you there?
Yes, yes.
You are there.
Yes.
Any question for me?
No. Okay, wait, just to confirm, you want us to do the assignment with the template that you sent, right?
Not
The
exactly. So not exactly. So it's just to guide you. So it's like I've given you something to copy. See, I've given you an assignment and then something that you can copy. So you can copy what relates to you because not everything relates to you. Okay. So if you see that the way they did their coloring is nice, you can copy it. Someone can copy the coloring, then that person's one won't be nice. So even though you are going to you want to copy, it won't still be easy. So it's supposed to be a guideline. I'm not expecting
Okay.
to do the same thing, but just do what applies to you.
Okay. Because I submitted mine with like what we did in class, like that template,
Okay.
like
Okay.
how
Yeah.
it's presented.
So you can go with the template we did in class. Then also add a little elements from what we've seen here too. So
Okay.
that's what if you've already submitted it and you are fine with it, you don't need to touch it again. You can leave it like that.
All right.
But maybe if you've learned something new today and then you may want to add it, you can go ahead and do that. Maybe initially when you were doing yours, you typed the months one by one, maybe January, February, March. So maybe now you want to use the date to generate the month. You can also try that as well.
Okay.
So yeah. And today too, we got to see the gross margin too. So if you want to include gross margin in yours too, that makes sense.
Okay.
In fact, we'll
All right.
do more gross margin when we are doing the financial statement analysis next week. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's welcome. Who else? Mohammed. Mohammed, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Any question?
No, please.
Okay.
Hello.
Grace. Yeah. Who said
I'm listening.
hello?
Like, bless.
Bless.
Yeah. With what I did, like what I submitted,
Uh-huh.
with the values that I chose, like my cash flow statement, the closing cash balance is giving me negative. I hope.
It means you don't have money.
Oh, okay.
So you have to go look for money.
All right. Thank you.
It's not supposed to be positive. So in fact, that's why businesses do this kind of financial modeling. Like they have to do a budget or a forecast. You see, so that when after they do it, like yours like this, if you do your cash flow budget and you realize that you have negative, it means you have to start looking for money today. And it means you are planning on spending more than what is going to come in. It doesn't mean it's abnormal. All it means is that you have to go and look for more money, maybe loan, or you go and beg investors to invest in your business. So that's it. But if you want yours to show positive figures by force, then you just have to increase your revenue or you have to increase your cash inflows. Do you get it?
Yes,
Bless.
please. Yes, please.
Yeah. So that's it. It's not, if you get negative, it doesn't mean you are wrong, unless maybe you didn't reference your sales well, or but getting negative doesn't mean you are wrong. It only means that your outflow is more than your inflow, and probably it's more than your inflow and then your opening balance too. That's what it means. Yeah.
My net profits, they are all positive.
Your net profit is positive.
Mm,
Okay. Did you have an opening balance
opening balance.
for cash? The cash flow,
For
when you're doing
cash.
your cash flow, do you have an opening balance?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
the opening balance, like they are small, and then they are also
And
some are also negative too.
okay, I'll take a look at your work again, because you can have a positive, like you can have profit, okay, and then your cash flow will be negative. So for an example, maybe you do your income statement, you get a profit, okay, but then in your cash flow, you see, cash flow is about inflows and outflows.
Mm.
So if you bought a vehicle, let's say you did your income statement and they have profit of 20,000, okay, and then in your cash flow you bought a vehicle for 100,000. That 100,000 won't appear in your income statement. Will it appear there?
No.
But it's going to be an outflow in your cash flow.
Yeah.
So that's, if you subtract the 100,000 from the 20,000, you're going to get negative 80. So you had a profit of 20, but within that same period, you bought a car or maybe some other capital expenditure. The capital expenditure will affect your what's the name? It will affect your cash flow, but it won't affect your income statement.
Okay.
So in such a case, you can have profit, all right, but then your cash flow will be negative.
Okay.
So that's also normal. But before you can decide, I have to check and then make sure that
Yeah.
everything's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
In the same way, you can also make a loss and then your cash flow will be positive. So the first example, you bought a car and then it made your cash flow negative. But here's the case: so if you sell any of your car or if you sell any of your assets, it will bring you more inflow, and that can make your cash flow positive whilst you had a loss.
Okay. Thank you.
Grace Emefa. Grace, your name sounds new. Grace, are you there? Okay. So I think we can end now, right?
Yes, please.
Hey, Priscilla is in a hurry to go. Okay, no problem. So I'll see you guys next weekend. Thanks for joining the class. And then if there's anything, can let me know. I'll be sharing some resources too in the WhatsApp group. So I think I'll share it before Monday. So if by Monday I don't share it, I know if you can remind me. If I don't share it today, don't remind me. But by Monday, if I don't share it, you can remind me. Okay. So if there's nothing else, we can end here for today. Then we'll see you guys next week. Hey, Irene, I've not heard of you today. You just sent a message. Irene.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Irene, you speak today.
Was there?
Or
I was
like
just following.
now you're an expert, so you don't need to be talking and asking questions,
I'm
right?
not, but I was just following.